Hey everybody, you're watching Ready Set Drone, and today I have the MJX RC Bugs 8 Pro. Stay tuned and we're going to check it out. So the MJX Bugs 8 Pro is right here, and it does look very similar to the Bugs 8. It's got these two bright LEDs in the front, which I really like. It's got tri-blades, as I said, the brushless motors and the ESCs. And one of the other things I like about this guy a lot is the fact that this cover comes off very easily, and you can get inside here and see all these components. Now this is your FPV camera, and you can see there's some little dip switches right there. Those dip switches are going to allow you to change frequencies. So if you're racing with a friend, you can race on different frequencies and you won't interfere with each other in terms of the FPV signal. Here's the camera, and the camera is tiltable, and it's nice because you don't need a tool or anything to tilt it. You can actually just tilt it, and it's notched. So we'll probably start with it straight ahead, see how that goes, and then just tilt it up a couple of notches and see how well I can fly it. These propellers feel a little different. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get out the original Bugs 8 and just do a little bit of a comparison. So this is the original, this is actually the MJX Bugs 6, but the Bugs 6 and the Bugs 8 were very similar quads. I grabbed the wrong one, but they are basically the same form factor. You can see here if I place this guy right there, if you look at the front, pretty similar in terms of the way it looks and the LEDs on the front. So the Pro uses a 3S battery, and I believe the original Bugs 8 and Bugs 6 use a 2S battery. You can tell the significant difference in size by the chamber that holds the batteries. If you look at that little cage at the bottom, you can see that the Bugs 8 Pro, the cage is a lot deeper than it is on the Bugs 8 and Bugs 6. That's because it's a bigger battery. And this is the battery right here. It has an XT30 connector on the end, which is nice because that makes it more of a standard battery. And it is charged with this balance cable right here, which actually, again, is nice because you can charge it with just about any charger. It does come with this little cheap charger, which is fine if you want to use it, but I'd recommend eventually getting a better charger for it. But this is going to slide right into the back here like this, and you're going to want to push it all the way forward. That's going to give you the best balance. It should be designed so that when you pick it up in the center, it's pretty much balanced, and you can see it pretty much is, you know, give or take a little bit. And that's also going to keep your cabling out of the way from the propellers. So your balance cord will be down here. It's a short balance cord, which is nice. And then this is your XT30 connector. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and you'll hear it boot up. And so you can see the red LEDs blinking there on the back, the white LEDs, and you see how bright those things are. That's one of the things I really like about this quad, is that it's very easy to orient when you're flying because the reds in the back and the whites in the front. So if you're flying line of sight, you can really tell the difference. So what I'm going to do is get the remote out now. And if you've ever owned an MJX RC quad before, the Bugs 3, the Bugs 2, all the remotes are pretty similar looking. This one has two antennas, and there you go. It has two function buttons on the back. Oh, no, that's actually, one of them is a fake. That's not really a button. L2 doesn't do anything. It doesn't even go in. It has a light button, which I assume is going to turn your LEDs on and off or change the difference or change them in some way. Low and high rate over here, and then your trim switches. Well, this might be your angle and acro as well. This switch here with a 1 and a 2 seems a little bit more substantial to turn it versus low and high. So you might have a low and high rate, and then angle and acro mode here is my guess. But we'll find out. We need to put some batteries in it and try it. Kudos to MJX for not making you use a screwdriver when you open up the back here. It's just pull off and it latches in. 4 AA batteries is what you need to get it going. I'm going to go ahead and put some batteries in this, fire it up, and just kind of look at what the controls do. And then we're going to take it out in the field and actually fly it with some goggles. Close that up. Turn the power on. Go ahead and plug in the quad. Make sure my throttle's all the way down. It shouldn't arm, but just in case. There's a little button that has a red lock on it. That is going to be your arm and disarm, I'll bet. Let's try it. Yep, there it is. Let's just turn on the screen. I'm going to peel this off and turn the screen on. And it looks like right out of the gate, we have a picture. Yeah, so we've got a picture. As I said, there are channel adjustments on top of the Bugs 8 Pro with some dip switches, so you can change. But by default, it looks like they set the channel to, it's at C5705. And the way these channels work, if you don't already know, is that they, there are 5 letters, A, B, C, D, E, and then there are 8 channels on each. So there's 40 channels possible. And yes, the micro SD slot is right here in the side of the camera. Yeah, so you want to put a micro SD right in that slot. I'll do that before we fly so I can record the actual flight, which will be super cool. But that said, I feel like we're in pretty good shape. Ooh, one other thing I'm going to see is if you can put the canopy from the original Bugs 8 and Bugs 6 on this guy. And hey, you can. So if you want to switch canopies, if you have an original Bugs 6 or Bugs 8, they are the same size. And just real quick, while I have both the canopies off, you can see the guts look pretty much the same on these two. This is the inside of the one I've had for a while, and this is the one that, that I just got, the Bugs 8 Pro. Probably the same flight controller with the exception of the ability to do Acro Mode.
Okay, so it's been actually a couple of days. I had to figure a couple of things out about the Bugs 8 Pro. Number one is how to put it into Acro Mode. The way you put this thing into Acro Mode is you actually turn the Bugs 8 Pro off and you turn the remote off, and then you switch this switch right here from 1 to 2, and that puts it into Acro Mode when you turn it back on. Switching it while it's on, while the drone or the controller is on, does not change it from acro to angle or vice versa. So basically you have to turn everything off, decide you're going to fly in acro, and then switch it to one or the other. So that's number one. Number two, I had a little bit of trouble with the provided FPV goggles from JJRC. They were dropping out at about 50 feet. I was losing signal and I just crashed. I think I fixed the problem. And the way I think I fixed the problem was by just changing the channels in here and changing the channels on the goggles. I seem to have a clearer image now, and I also walked away from it quite a ways and it still was showing up fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fly it with the JJRC goggles one more time and see how that does on this other channel. Then I'm going to try flying it with the Aomway Commander Goggles, which I think will give me a little bit better experience. And then finally, I'm going to fly it in Acro Mode. So let's do those three things and we'll see how it goes.
Million thoughts are spinning around in my head. My pulse holds it down, 'cause I'm almost there. Now I see you through the window and I'm walking on it. But I won't let you know. And I know how it goes. It's supposed to feel incredible. It's
bring it by kind of close, but I got it. All right, now I'm gonna just go over here and land it.
Could have been smoother. That's alright.
Cool. Okay, so the MJX RC Bugs 8 Pro. This thing is a lot of fun. It is very, very forgiving in angle or horizon mode where it self-levels. It's not forgiving at all in Acro Mode. It's pretty hard to fly in Acro Mode, but it's got a lot of things going for it. So overall, I like the Bugs 8 Pro. I think it's a pretty cool little FPV flyer, especially because you can learn to fly in Acro. But again, don't take that lightly. If you're gonna learn how to fly, start with something a little bit easier and then graduate to this, and then graduate to a real full carbon fiber FPV racer. If you like this video, hit me with the like button and maybe a subscription. And I'd love to hear your comments and your experience with the Bugs 8 Pro. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time on Ready, Set, Drone, and thanks a lot.